Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this huge milestone episode today. If you're new around here, welcome. If you've been listening since episode 1, super welcome. Wow, we've been together for a long time. We're probably married by this point by now. But this is episode 250 of the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. And I'm not sure how many episodes I originally thought I was going to record, but like to be able to have hit this, because in podcasting world too, this is pretty freaking amazing. And I just wanted to have like a big celebration. So we're kind of doing something different today, where normally I'm in the driver's seat. I brought a special guest to be in the driver's seat, the host. She's actually my guest, but she's also the host today. I've given her a couple of questions that have been submitted by all of you. And then also that I asked AI, I'm like, what would be like really intriguing questions to ask me as we hit like this really big milestone? So you're going to get a little bit of education. You're going to get a lot of fun. And who knows? This is really going to be a mixed bag episode that I can't wait to dive into. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, Stephanie Gries of Travefy. Many of you should already know who this is, as we've done a lot of things together in the past. So I'm so excited to have you be my guest host today.
Oh, well, thank you. No, this is the biggest, highest honor ever. This is so cool. When Rita first came, I was like, wait, yes, of course. Just tell me when and where I will be there. This is really exciting. And I just love how this is a very choose your own adventure where this episode's going. So we don't know where it's going. That's the best part.
No idea. I'm like, I've gotten all the questions. I have not prepped any answers because I wanted it to be super authentic. And you're just going to get real raw today.
Yes, I love it. And no, for real. I told everyone, or I told Rita right before this too, that I'm feeling yappy today. I mean, I usually am, but today especially. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited. And congratulations, first of all. But I do want to hit you with your first questions because you're hitting 250 now, which is just super insane to think about.
Right.
But when you hit record on episode 1, what was running through your head, and were you terrified?
Yes. Immediately. I was scared. So on the podcasting aspect, I wasn't nervous about it because I had been running my travel agency podcast, the Cruise Retreat podcast, for probably a year-ish at that point. So I kind of like knew all the ins and outs of podcasting. Where I was terrified was, is anybody going to listen to this podcast? And like, are we going to like make it to such a milestone of 250? And that's really only because of the travel advisors and everybody in the travel industry that has like shared this and like listened to it, mentioned to a friend, given me a rating or review. So like huge thank you for all of that. Really the premise of the or how the podcast came to be is I knew I wanted to almost do like a love letter to the industry, but I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to share some really great business experts that I know outside of the industry and some that were also in the industry, because what we're really needing is quality business education, not just like how to be a travel advisor, but how to run a business. And that mission has stayed true through all of these different episodes where I focus a lot on the marketing aspect. And so on the things that I don't do well, that's where I bring in a special guest. Or if I do something well, but I want an outside perspective so that we can gab on something. So yeah, this is really for anybody who wants to be a travel business owner and specifically own a travel agency.
I love, and a love letter to the industry. That's
yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. And you'll have to remind us, what year did you start again?
2021. So March 2021, which like, well, we were in dark times still.
We were. Those were brutal times. Those were when we were like, please, we need something fun. And you gave us a podcast.
Yes. I brought the podcast to life.
I love it. No, it's so cool. I just can't believe I really can't wrap my head around 250. And we realized too right before this that it's like the US's birthday, so of 250
Right.
years as well. So every year, a podcast episode a year that this country has been around. I mean, that's a milestone. That's crazy.
That
That's so cool. What would you say has changed since the first one? Like what have you learned along the way, or have you changed things, learned things?
Hmm. Oh, that's a good question. There are definitely things that I like want to tighten up. Like I would love to get an even better microphone, but I have like gotten a better microphone throughout the years. I have heard that a lot of people really appreciate the good sound quality that I have. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you do. Thank you. Um, I'm not, I'm trying to think because I feel like the podcast has been an evolution of even me and how I support the travel industry, where I first started with a lot of guests because I didn't know how I wanted to support the travel industry. So I'm like, well, let me bring a lot of my buddies on here and slowly but surely like realizing how good I am like with content creation, how good I am with marketing and like thinking about the strategy because I'll never forget back in 2021, 22-ish, I was also rebranding my travel agency at the time. And now I don't focus marketing the travel agency as much since I'm so focused on my industry work. But I did the Clifton Strengths test. And my top strengths, because there's four categories. There's, I think, 32 strengths in there. There's a lot of strengths in there, but there's like four categories. And I found out that my top strengths are in strategy and in relationship building, which kind of feeds in very well to the podcast.
That's literally what you do. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. So, and kind of like knowing that back then really having that help me like drive like some of the things that I do. Because execution, not one of my top skills. Can I execute on things? Yes, of course. But I try and do things that maybe don't require as much like execution, like where I have to, this is the project, these are the deliverables. Like there's certain things that I do really well at, and that's if it's something dealing with relationship building or me thinking about the future, because that's one of the strengths that was very high for me. That's one of my top five strengths is futuristic, learner, and input. Then I also have connectedness. And now I forget the last one. Oh no. Maybe I'll remember it later on as we get talking.
We'll come back. I know futuristic is that's one that I have too. It's so fun. It's like I think
Nice.
of robot beep boop bop boop. We just love thinking ahead. And
Yeah.
all of those literally, if you put all of those in a little pot, it would bring out a podcast because
Yes.
it literally is like the connective, building the community, all of that stuff too. And a random question for you too is do you like, is there ever episodes that you had because you yourself were like really curious about it and you're like I really want to understand how this like I need to talk to an expert and so you're like well let's just make a podcast out of it.
Yes. I feel like that's how I got so into like Google Business Profile. One of the very early on, like in the within like top 55, like the first 55 episodes, I interviewed who's now a friend to me, Amy Graves, who chatted all on Google Business Profile. And that's kind of like that conversation is how I created like the Google Starter Kit. Because I was curious about it and like how people are using Google Business Profile and like how underutilized it is. An upcoming episode that I'm working on is I've reached out to like a YouTube expert, and he is so unique about like how he teaches on YouTube because it's not like a content creator. He truly teaches business owners how to create YouTube videos and what the cadence should be and what your content should be so that it's kind of like a lead magnet. And so YouTube has been something that's been on my radar, but I'm also like, Rita, you do not need another thing. So that is like, stay tuned. I've reached out to him and we just need to do scheduling. But yeah, if there's a lot of things that I am personally curious, you can definitely find those on the podcast throughout the years.
Yeah, that's That's really cool. And one final podcast here question for you is if you had to pick, so you kind of already mentioned that one was really impactful, that episode that you had with Amy, but are there any other episodes that come to your mind that might have been your favorite or that have been like a big crowd favorite?
I mean, I was just talking to one of my friends about the Marketing Matrix episode that came out like a couple of weeks ago. Oh my, so man, now I'm thinking about one episode. I'm like,
I
let's
know it's
stay
hard. Well, out of
strong.
250, how do you choose? It makes sense that it
Well,
would be hard to think.
yeah, so one of the ones that's like really getting me in my feels now, I don't even think it was for this podcast. So I've done like a couple of different audio series. So Travel Tech Audio Summit is the one that always comes back. I also did one about ascending in your travel business. Really trying to get to like the SEO. SEO is top of mind, clearly. Getting to the CEO level, like really managing your business and like being the owner that your business needs it to be. And I had an interview, a really great conversation with Edward Jean, which rest in peace if you
Oh,
know Edward Jean. He was just it's a really great episode. And I think when he did pass a couple years ago, I put it on the podcast as a tribute to him. But he just talks about like the bootstrapping marketing that he did in the original heydays of his business. And he was just a really all-around great human being. There's an award now in his name at ASTA. He was also a founding member of the Association of Black Travel Professionals. And like that's one that like I always think about as like one of those, not only just a great human conversation, but just so inventive about how he thought about like building his business.
yes. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna have to go listen to that because we had him on some webinars before and just
Yeah.
amazing, incredible. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to put that one on my list. I
Yeah.
think we
I was
all
gonna
should go
say,
listen.
you might want to skip the first couple of minutes because I do like a little tribute and I do get a little bit teary and
Yeah.
emotional. So you might want to skip a couple minutes just to get to the good stuff where we start chatting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but now I have some questions here for you that aren't necessarily podcast related. They're just kind of random. So this is
Yeah.
where we go off the rails. This is where, so the first one here for you. All right. What would you say is your spirit animal personally? And also not only your own spirit animal, but do you have a different one for your business? Like if you were to give it one, or is it the same? Maybe it's the same one.
Yeah. So this one came in and I'm like, so there's two animals that I always think about. So even growing up, I feel like this is also classic 90s girl. I love dolphins. Dolphins have always been like my animal. I had the dolphin lamp, I had the dolphin t-shirt. If like we were gonna go somewhere to see dolphins, I was there like as a kid. I mean, I'm in Florida, so there's a lot of opportunities to see like dolphins. And I just can't help but think, and this makes me also start thinking about like host week because that was like our big question at host week this year about like what would like be the community animal. And like I just feel like there's certain parts of me that are very dolphin-ish where I'm very much about community. I want everybody to feel like they're involved and that they belong. I'm not always a chatterbox, but clearly on the podcast, I am definitely a chatterbox. Love me my food, not necessarily fish, but I do love me my food. And so that's like just they're very social, but also very like community-minded animals. And I have heard that like if you were in the ocean and there happens to be a shark nearby, but there's also a dolphin, the dolphin will be like, scram, shark person, get out of here. Which I feel like I'm also like that
A
with people
protector.
just in general.
Yeah.
Yes, like leave my buddy alone or don't listen to this bad advice or whatever it might be. So that's one of the animals that I think about. And then I also very much like I feel very connected with the thought of the phoenix and just like rising after because I feel like there's been a lot of not so great things, but there's been a lot of really great things. And just instead of being all woe is me, just being able to be like, okay, this happened. So what did we learn from this? Like how can you move forward when circumstances, whether that's business, professional, personal, happen? How can you move forward and become a better version of yourself and do things different or being able to adapt? I'm not sure that I would say one is more business than personal, but I feel like those are like guiding animals at least in my
I
life.
love it. You know what I immediately thought of when you said dolphin is Lisa Frank. Like I just see
Yes.
the colorful, so good. Yeah, and they're good communicators and they're social. I totally see it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Those are
Yeah.
great. I love that. Okay, another question that came in from a listener is what advice would you give an agent who wants to sell their travel photos or videos as passive income?
Ooh, this one was a really great one because I'm like, oh, must research a little bit on this because I feel like the obvious answers are going to be like, just put them up as like packs on Etsy. But I'm like, but what are some other things that like you might be able to sell on other than just Etsy? Because I know like the options I feel are either Etsy or like have a website where you can make sales. The downside with like having a website where you can make sales is obviously you're gonna have to like purchase some sort of like technology so that you can house that. Whereas on Etsy, you're really just paying like a fee of whatever got sold. So you don't really have to pay for the tech platform per se. You just have to give them like a little bit of the commission off of like being able to have sold and because they're doing the marketing ish for you, they're getting the people that are on their website to like purchase from you. Um, hold on. I am because I wanted to make sure I had the right stock sites available because there it sounded too that there was like differences in stock websites. So like there's micro stock and macro stock. Macro stock looks like it means more like you're selling your rights to the photo, whereas like micro stock, you keep your rights to the photo. So some of the suggestions for being able to sell some of your photos are like Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, iStock, and Envato. So that could be like a way to make some money is by selling it. Now, the caveat here too is like when I was doing the research on this, is that you need to have a lot of photo, like you need to have thousands of photos in order to like be somewhat lucrative. So what I was seeing is like maybe have at least like 3,000 photos and that this is going to take time to kind of build up if you want it to be like some decent side income. So I wouldn't say like this is a get rich quick type of like venture. It could be down the line. Specific to like even the travel industry, I know that there's an advisor who is also a virtual assistant that sells photo. Now, again, you're not making a ton of money, but cruisedeckplans.com. If you have cruise photos and like cabin photos, I think they buy them at like 50 cents to have it on their website so people can see like what the different cabins look like. So again, like you're not rolling in the dough, but at least it's something that's there. Um,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, the other one that I know, and I think they were up for an ASTA Entrepreneur of the Year award, not last year, but the year before, is Navi Savvy, Navisavi, where I think they will pay for your B-roll stock footage. And I'm not sure like how much they pay out either, but I know that that's another platform that's out there for you to be able to do that. Um, so I feel like probably the quickest win is to be able to like make stock image or video packets on Etsy and sell them over there. That's going to be the quickest way for you to get all set up. If you're trying to like make it maybe make it in the long run and then also kind of like maybe like have your photos featured somewhere, it might be worth it to like look into those stock sites like Shutterstock and some of the other ones that I mentioned. So longish answer, but I wanted to make sure like we had some options here and that it does take some time to kind of build into any sort of like decent side income.
That's so cool. I never thought about that. That's really cool because we see that a lot with Travefy, where
Yeah.
people build their Travefy itinerary templates or, whatever landing page templates, and they sell them. And you could do, yeah, stuff like that and go into the Facebook groups with other advisors and be like, I have these photos. Cause that is something that
Yeah.
we hear a lot at Travefy too, is because of course we have, our stock photos, but if you want the, on this specific cruise ship, this type of photo, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to go figure out how to get those.
Right.
And so what a good idea. That's a cool question.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. And I thought it tied in a lot because I do something similar with the cruise content library. But yeah, it's kind of like you have to pick your poison, which way you wanna, which route you want to go with that.
Yeah. Dang, that's cool. I love that. Okay, I
Yeah.
got another question here for you. This one came in from the listeners as well. And it's, if you could go back and give yourself advice in the first years of business, what would you tell yourself?
You need to get out there and meet people, Rita. Is
Oof, there you go.
is the
Mic drop.
immediate, yeah. Man, because I started my agency back in 2010 and I started being like, oh my gosh, my friends and family are so amazing. They're just gonna buy all this travel with me and then they're gonna share me out to everybody. Reality, no, that did not happen. Now I know for some people this does work. You do have a great like friends and family network and it works. For most people, that is the rule. I always love to use like exception versus the rule, and I forget which it's like a dating movie, dating book, or a dating book turned movie where they always like talk about the exception and the rule, and I always forget like what it's called.
Oh, is that he's just not that into you? Is that the one?
Is that it?
No, I know what you're talking about. It's like I can see it, like the rom com. I can visually
Yes.
see it, but I can't think of it. Yeah, like
Yeah, and at the end they're like, "You're my exception." And you're like, "Oh my
yeah. Oh my God, didn't see that one
God."
coming.
Right.
Like,
But yeah, that is like it is exceptional if your friends and family do put in a lot of support for you. The rule is that that's not what typically happens. And so you have to go out there and build those relationships. And I know like I've had a lot of recent conversations with travel advisors who are like so focused on social media, but I'll ask like, so what are you doing to meet people? And there's not a really concrete answer. Like some people are doing really great things to meet people. I even remember I had a call at the end of last year where she wanted to know what else she could do on social media. And I'm like, I don't think you need to do anything on social, like very limited stuff on social media because you are finding really great partners, you're finding really great clients in person, whether that's like networking events or even like vendor events. She found like an amazing client at a vendor event. And I'm like, this is where we need to, and it's not just networking. I feel like the one of the untapped areas is partnerships. And sometimes you do need to have like some sort of a platform, so whether that's like you have your own like local podcast or like a travel podcast and you can like bring guests to your platform, or if you're doing like a live show or something like that on YouTube, because YouTube is a really great search platform. I don't really like Facebook and Instagram are not search platforms. Maybe if you're doing like some collaboration on TikTok, because that is a really great search platform. But I think kind of like the best search platform for collaboration outside of doing audio and podcasts is really going to be YouTube. Because that's like if you're able to get in front of somebody else's audience and they're able to get in front of your audience, like there's just so much magic that happens. Then there's also like this potential for like joint venture partnerships. So maybe if they are a potential business that maybe would ever be interested in like putting a group trip together, you just never know like what's going to happen. So I feel like even like that partnership opportunity, also being on other people's audiences, regardless if you have a platform. So, right now I'm running the lead generation accelerator, and one of the advisors has like been booking or like researching different podcasts to be guest on. And I'm like, every travel advisor needs to be doing like something similar, whether that's like getting on your news or your media or like these podcasts. Like, there have been so many service providers and like even guest speakers for the podcast that I found because I heard them on another podcast or I heard them at a conference speaking. And so you as a travel advisor can be that person. You just have to put yourself out there. And while I'm like cl finding clients on social media is not like where I like focus and specialize on, you can find really great partnership opportunities if you are communicating with and you're becoming like a raving fan of different local businesses. I call it different people of influence. People of influence to me is different from influencer, even though there's kind of like some similarities. Like influencers create content, whereas people of influence are typically like educating, helping, or supporting a certain group out. And because of that, they just have grown like a community. And like having that built-in community, one means possibly like potential clients there. Two, possibly also means a really great partnership opportunity between like maybe you planning a trip for this person's community in the future. So in person is not talked about enough. And so I feel like that's like one of the themes for 2026 for me is to talk more about in-person opportunities.
No, and that makes sense. I feel like too, every time that we talk, when we have you on stuff like on our
Mhm.
podcast or webinar, that always comes up and it's always like, listen to Rita, you just need to go. And we talk about all the different local things you can do and go to.
Yes.
And even if local, because yeah, everyone's in different situations. And yeah, you're right. Some people are very lucky and they have a Rolodex of people kind of ready to
Yeah.
go if they were to launch their travel business, but many don't. And so
Yeah.
you have to start somewhere. And yeah, and I like the influencer. That's such a good point to make, that influencers are different than the people of influence.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if you're on my email list and you've been on there, what date is it? I want to say April 3rd. That email, I sent out a list of like 25 or 26 like in-person ideas of like either like really great in-person referral partners or potential like joint venture partners. So if you haven't opened that email, you want to check it out because that's an exclusive for you.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, go
Yeah.
back and check that out, everyone. No, that
Yeah.
is great. I love that. All
Yeah.
right. So I've got a wacky question, and then I'm going to come back to business things.
Ooh.
I just love the wacky. All right. Quick question. We're going to talk in-flight stuff. We're going to talk travel when you're traveling in flight.
Yeah.
First question, it's very important. Are you aisle or window, or are you middle and just one of those, a middle person, but what do
Man,
you prefer?
if I'm traveling solo, well, even if I'm traveling with somebody else, I prefer the aisle. I just prefer like easy access if I need to use the restroom. I don't like bothering people if I need to get up or anything. So I'm an aisle person, but I love like also having the window to be able to lay down on. But I feel like at this point, I would only do that if I'm like with somebody I know, like if I'm with a friend or if I'm with like a partner or a parent, like somebody that I'm comfortable being like, hey, get your butt up.
Yes, I am 100% the same for that exact reason. People are
Nice.
like, why? And I'm like, no, because I am not about to ask, because then I will freak out about it the whole entire flight, like stressing about it. And
Yes.
then,
Yes.
so not doing that. I like,
Now,
we own that aisle when you're on
right.
it.
Now, I will say I need airlines to give us more space because sometimes the aisle seats get less under seat space. So, like, my things are tight under there. So, I'm like, airlines, if you're listening, which I don't know that you will, but I'm advocating for more
Well.
space for aisle seats underneath the seat.
Yes. And also what always happens, and now it's like my huge fear, is my backpack has like they have like not like whatever those called, the strings like hanging down. And
Yes.
one time it did get out and it like kind of tripped someone. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I know.
So now I'm so freaked out. But you're right, there is a little less. Now, another question on this is this is a hot topic. Is do you recline?
Oh, I think
I'll
that
tell you I do,
depends
and I think
on
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. Like, especially if it's an overnight flight, I'm gonna recline. We're
Yeah.
all reclining, so we should be reclining. I feel like on like daytime flights, I try not to recline, especially on shorter flights. Like, I feel like if somebody was gonna recline on, if somebody's gonna recline on me, I feel like I'm gonna be annoyed for a couple minutes anyways, and then it'll pass. But
And you'll be
that's
good.
just me. Yeah.
I know that's the thing. Like I do get I usually don't go like all the way, but yeah, if you're sleeping, then it's like, all right, we're going all the way back.
Yeah.
Like we're sleeping. But
Yeah.
now another question for flight. Are you the type of person, do you like to read? Do you like to watch a movie? Do you sleep? Do you work? What is there a go-to activity you have?
You know, with every effort to work, I have not made it able to
No,
work.
I know. I always
I,
think I am, and I don't.
yeah. Like I have brought books with me to read. I brought notebooks. I think like one time I was able to like work out a plan. And I'm like, I feel like that's best for me, just to, like be totally unplugged. I'm definitely a movie person. And if I know like there's maybe 30 minutes left, then I'll put on like a TV show. Like the last couple of flights, I put on like Real Housewives, whatever season they've got for the last 30 minutes because I'm like, oh, I don't need to pay attention to this. But I watched Zootopia on the last flight that I was on, Zootopia 2, which was a lot of fun.
See, they have all the good movies. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm with you because they always have like the brand new movies. And it's like,
Yes.
wow, it's
Yeah.
amazing. So, okay, I have one more travel question here. Is there any type of gadget that you have, like travel accessory that either you use on the flight or just travel in general that you're like, you cannot live without?
Oh, well, I have to like bring like that donut, the donut pillow. I have to have it around my neck because I am definitely a bobblehead. And I feel like even if I wasn't, like if like without it, I would still bobble because I feel like I still like tend to like go to one side or the other, even with the pillow. I have so many like health things, so I'm like, gotta make sure I have all the meds that I need. I used to be a very big, like, especially for overnight flights, I'm like, well, I'm gonna still keep my nighttime routine, so I'm gonna brush my teeth and I'm gonna do all the things. And then I feel like one trip I got stomach issues and I'm like maybe it was because I brushed my teeth on the plane. I can't really prove it, but I'm like we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to do a lot of things before we even leave leave the house. And then when we get to the airport at the destination, then we brush our teeth. So,
Oh
yeah,
man.
I keep a lot of like those medical-y things and then I keep a lot of the tech things with me because I'm big on content creation. So I have like the ring lights and I have the backup batteries and the outlet thing, like all those things.
Ooh, do you use your ring light like in public, like on the plane and stuff?
No, so it's like one of those portable, maybe like 5 or 6 inches. I love it for the dining room. That's normally where you'll see me using
Oh.
it because I love being able to take really great like food pictures. But dining rooms typically have poopy light. And so I need to make it look better. So like I think you can buy like a handheld ring light for like 10-ish bucks off of Amazon or wherever. And yeah, I love it.
Okay, I kind of want one now because I agree. I'm a big food picture taker, and like
Yeah.
I always my camera eats before I do usually
Yes.
when especially when you're
All the
traveling.
time.
Yes, you
All
have
the
to. You're like,
time.
oh, that's cool. Oh, I love that. Okay, great tips. I love that. I lied. I have one more question before I get back to some business stuff. And this has to do with business, but are there like when you're traveling or just anytime, are there some podcasts that you are your absolute favorite to listen to that you're just like you would totally recommend to people? I
Well,
always love asking this question because there's so many good podcasts.
so one of the recent episodes that I was listening to, hold on, I want to make sure I got the title right. What women of color entrepreneurs need to unleash about success. And that's from Jerisha Hawk. So I'm a huge fan of, she talks everything and anything about entrepreneurship. Her podcast is Jerisha Said. And you spell that Jereshia. And then said, like Jerisha said this. So she's got lots of like insights. She's on maternity leave right now, but if that's something that like you need to figure out, she has a lot of episodes talking about prepping for maternity leave as a business owner. So she talks a lot about like really owning that role, and she talks a lot about like creative marketing, but like also no-brainer marketing. Somebody that I met at Podfest, her name is Christina Bartold, Christina with a K. Community is a podcast that I've really enjoyed listening to, and like just getting a lot of different ideas because she hosts a lot of community events. So really like I feel like for a travel advisor listening in, like how can you make your maybe like group trips feel like more community? How can you get out in your community and like meet people? This is really great networking opportunities also. So that's one that's on my list a lot. There is it promote, I think it's Promote Yourself to CEO. Yeah, from Rachel Cook. And that's another one. I don't listen to all the episodes, but there's certain ones like this episode that she has out now. I don't build my business for my best days. I'm like, well, I gotta listen to that because she also has chronic illness, like I have chronic illness. And she's taking care of aging parents. Rest in peace. Her mom just passed away in December. And so she had talked a lot about like how she was really building her business around her life because of all these real life things, like having to be a caretaker for her parents, which I know tons of travel advisors also have to deal with, whether they're caretaker of their children, caretakers of siblings, caretaker of aging parents. Like this is something we're all going to be faced with at some point, regardless of not if we have children or not. And like, how do you build a business that is profitable and like making the money that you need it to be, but also fits in with your life so that it's not like running every second of your life too. So I feel like business wise, those are some of like the go-tos. I have way more. I feel like we could talk forever. Like that would be the whole
I know that's
episode,
why.
all the podcasts I listen to.
Yes, I know. That's why I always love that. Like I like know so many now that to go check out because I'd love asking that because podcasts are seriously the best. I
Yeah,
like we would not be here right now if it weren't for them.
right.
It is amazing. But okay, so I have some questions here too. Like going back to the business because a lot of those podcasts kind of those episodes you mentioned kind of help with this
Right.
or get into this too. But what would you say? I think this was one of the listener questions is what's the hardest business decision you've made in the last year? Because we always, we love highlighting all the great things, but there's reality to stuff too.
Yeah. There's a current, there's two-ish kind of hard decisions that I'm pondering now. I don't want to go into specifics, but I'm sure at my December end of year, I'm probably going to go into like the specifics behind it. But it's essentially changing some things, changing the model of some things that I feel will give me more stability because my word of the year is stability. And so there's certain things that I'm doing right now that don't give me stability. And when I say not stability, like I get emails and they make me angsty when I get certain emails. Also like certain things just aren't proving to be profitable like I thought they were going to be. So how do I change the business model or change the positioning or messaging to really make that happen? Or do I just shut it down completely? So, and that's like something that I'm thinking about, and that it will most likely happen is that something's going to be shut down by the end of the year, but it might come back in the future as like something different, or there's just another iteration that's come to be. Because that there's some things that I've held on to that I'm like, I don't want to let this go. And I'm like, holding on to certain things also holds you back from certain other things. And I know many people say it, but I'm also like a huge believer that like if I say no to this one thing, something else that's way more aligned is going to come into fruition. Because also from personal experience, having said yes to things I shouldn't have said yes to, and then I'm like regretting every single second of having to do that. More tangibly, what I can talk about is that I finally got QuickBooks Online and I finally like
Woo!
enrolled in that. And not that it was a hard decision. And I wouldn't use the word frugal to like describe who I am because I'm also very bougie in certain aspects. But when it comes to like cost for my business, I'm very like mindful and I'd rather like see if I can bootstrap it until I can't bootstrap it anymore. And QuickBooks Online is something that I should have stopped bootstrapping last year. So it was just a hard realization to be like, hello, what are you doing? Still doing. So it was really easy to get that and thank all the gods for Stephanie Cannon who helped me set it up. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to be on top of that. Like I've submitted my taxes. My tax person was like, "This is the most organized I've ever seen." Your stuff like
Nice.
come in, and also that like I'm now excited to reconcile everything every single month in there because I don't have to do it necessarily. The system did it, and I just have to be like, "You did a good job, sis."
Just tap your computer. Good job.
Yeah,
Give it a little pat. That,
exactly.
well, it's like the admin stuff. And I know some
Yeah.
people do enjoy that because they came from that world, like where they had to do that stuff. So it's natural. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we talk about that all the time with advisors. You know, you are running a business and it's all fun, like, oh, the marketing and all the cool stuff. Well, and some people don't like that, but that's the kind of stuff to me that I'm like, that sounds fun. But
Yes.
then the admin, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you better do it right. Otherwise, that could be illegal. And that's terrifying.
Yeah.
like, that's the
Exactly.
other thing.
I do not want to get in trouble. No, thank you.
Nope, nope. That is, yeah. So I no, those are good lessons to learn. Um, Another question here though is kind of go, and actually I kind of might know the answer because we've been talking about this a little bit, but this is another question that
Mhm.
came in is what do travel advisors consistently get wrong about marketing themselves? And one of them is main that we've been talking about is network, get out there, show
People,
yourself.
people, people. Yeah, I actually so we're recording this in the past for the future, but I have a feeling that the episode from last week that you may have heard last week, I'm going to touch on some of these things. So this is just going to re-bring it up. It's very weird when you record in the past and the future at the same time.
Yeah, where
Um,
are we right now? like
right.
we're, it's like the interstellar thing. Like I don't know when we're just in another dimension.
Exactly. But I feel like advisors are not specific enough in their marketing. I feel like they're so close to being specific, but they're not being specific enough. And like when I say that, I mean like if you have a hook on your video that says, this can be your view at the beach. Well, anybody can say that. And there's no like a big thing that I'm starting to talk about now too is like what's in it for me, the WIFM, like what's in it for your client? Like, okay, that's a really great beach view. But what if you like tweak that into I didn't have to do anything to get this beach view. My travel advisor took care of it all. Or this is the beach view I deserved after not using my PTO for a whole year, or this is the beach view I deserved out after having my third child last year. Like things that are so relatable that get people to be like, "Oh my gosh, I want that beach view. I just had my last child too." And I deserve that beach view. Like that gets people to stop the scroll, but is like so relatable and helps like with that connection that they're like, it's just a no-brainer for them to like to start following you. It'll be a no-brainer for them to like start reaching out to you for travel planning services. But you have to do things out of the norm. You have to do like things a little bit extra per se. Like things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily say on social media, like put it out there on social media. Like this is the beach view that I deserved after my third endometriosis surgery. And people who have endometriosis like myself are going to be like, "Well, shoot, I definitely deserve that after my last surgery too."
You're like, you know what? You're right. I deserve that too.
Yeah.
That's a really good point because that is true. That like when things are just hyper specific and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And then
Yeah.
you look and that's a really good idea. I like that. You know what? One thing that I randomly thought of, I don't know if you are familiar with doing this kind of stuff, but I just followed somebody the other day. It was just like kind of like home lifestyle decor stuff.
Mm.
And all of a sudden I got a message from her and I know it's all like, set up that way, but it was like really cool. And it wasn't in a way that I'm like, oh, that was weird. Like, why'd you,
Yeah.
like, I don't need this, but it was something that was relevant. And it was like, check out my store, something like that. And I was like, wait. And then I just kind of went down a rabbit hole really fast. Do you see people do that? Because I've seen that before, but I've never seen it happen that efficiently fast where I just found this person randomly, liked them or started
Oh,
following them, got
yeah.
the stuff and went down a hole so fast. And I was like, that was good.
Yeah.
Nice work, influencer. Like,
Well, that I think about like, and I've talked about them quite a few times already on the podcast. Like, my favorite art studio in Orlando, like where you can make abstract art, it's called Abstract Orlando. I found them on social media. I'm not sure how. I think I actually, many years ago when they first opened up, because they opened up right after the pandemic, I knew people that had gone and had art experiences there, and it was always like on the bucket list to go. So I stayed up with their social media, and I'm like, I guess it was just one day randomly just checking out their social media because I was curious about some experience, and I'm like, zoom, 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 like every single thing, because they're obviously there to sell their art studio services for you to come in, do some painting. That's how they make money. But they have so many relatable things. Like one of the founders, Aliana, she put a video together of like, this is what being a content creator is actually like, where like you're talking into the camera and you're like, what the heck did I just say? And like she's putting like all her little bloopers into this. And it's so relatable because if you're a business owner who also has to create content, you've been there multiple times. Like you want to say something, it doesn't come out right. That's what people want. Like they don't want to see the perfection in things. Like especially in the age of AI now, they want to know that you're a real, actual human, but you can't just be telling them, like, I know all the secrets to the pyramids of Gaza. Go to my link and check this out. Why should I care about that? Why should I go to your link? You've got to give me a little bit more in that I can like go off of than like just go to your link. And that's another one. Like travel advisors, you're telling people to go to your link or schedule a call way too way too much. Social media, not sales media. And so you need to be social and connecting on social media and then like periodically make a sale.
yeah, and you're building your brand and the trust, of course, and all of that.
Right.
And yeah, and I do love, I mean, the algorithms, I know they're constantly changing,
Yeah.
but they
Oh
do
yeah.
pretty good. If you start looking at someone, you are going to keep getting them. Like, I mean, I notice that all the time, and I'm like, dang, I haven't even followed this person, and now they just keep appearing, and I'm okay with it because I obviously spent the time and looked, but it's so it follows pretty well. But okay, one final question for you because we could be here.
Boom, boom, boom.
I don't want to
I
wrap this
know.
up. This is so much fun, but I do have one more for you. So
Okay.
when you get to episode 500, so we're
Oh,
halfway there, I want you to come back and listen to your answer to this question. What do
oh.
you want episode 500 Rita to know?
I want you to know. Oh, this is a hard one for me. The word that comes up for me is trust. I want episode 500 Rita to like be so comfortable trusting herself and trusting her instincts and trusting that whatever that you're doing or have done is the right decision. And if it wasn't the right decision, it was an oopsie. And we just learned, we just learned and got up from there. But to never be afraid, like to trust yourself, go to the right people if you do need assistance, like with whatever might be happening and then also remember to like have fun with everything, which I think I do pretty well. But to keep having fun and also like, can you believe you made it to 500?
Woo, you did it. Amazing. I know. That's a lot of episodes. Like that's
A lot
how many hours? Over 500 hours easily.
ish. Yeah. Yeah. Between
Yeah.
like editing and reaching out to potential guests
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
You did it, Rita. 500 Rita, you did it.
Oh my.
Congratulations.
Wow. I can't even imagine that. What
I
is the
know.
world going to be like in 250 years? Just kidding.
Yeah. We'll just be robot. We'll just be holograms just coming in. But this,
250 more episodes.
I know, and it'll be here before you know it because yeah, it's so cool again that the fact that you've hit 250, that you've stuck with it. Everyone's been here along the way, all the listeners and all the stuff. And again, love letter to the industry. But I'm just going to speak for the listeners. Love letter back to you. So thank you for caring about us and caring about everybody. And it's just so incredible. And you've given back so much to this industry and built this amazing community. So kudos to you and congratulations on this milestone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And I'm so glad I got to experience this with you. So maybe in 5 years, when episode 500 rolls around, we're going to have to do a reunion episode.
I love it. You know where to find me. Absolutely. Yes. I will be there.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap this. I think we're almost at an hour-ish. So here's to everybody who's been listening. Like, sincerely, we're having a lot of fun here, but really, this podcast would not have continued to 250 episodes without you. You're a big part of this, and your feedback helps to shape all the different episodes that come out. Your feedback helps to shape some of the guests that come, even some of the things that I do, like the audio summits or prep for Wave Week. Everything that I do is to help you become a better business owner. And so that's at the heart of it. And if this podcast has been a little piece of that, of your journey, that just warms my own heart. And I'm just very grateful that you are here. You keep listening in, you keep sharing. And here is to the next. I feel like I should have had champagne ready, but here's my little marker. Here's my little cheers.
You did it.
Cheers to the next one. Thank you again so much for being here, everybody. And we'll see you in 251 next week. Woo! Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.